Hello, everybody. So I'm making some macaroni and cheese. I'm making a huge
I should say greet my people.
Greet them how? They gotta be figuring out where am I? Where am I? Oh, I'm in the best place. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the blessed place. It's so blessed. So I'm making some macaroni and cheese, and so far I have this huge, beautiful pot, and it's full of water. And I don't bother measuring how much water and all that stuff because it just has to be over the amount of the noodles. And there's a lot of salt in there, so I'm gonna let that boil, and then I'm going to add the elbow noodles using dried pasta, and then I have 4 boxes over there. I don't know if I'm going to use all of it because this puffs up so much, so I don't think I'm going to need all that. And then I have 2 eggs here, and I just beat them really good. You want to be able to like raise them up and they just fall down. So I have 2 eggs here that I've beaten, and then once this I just wanted to set it aside. I'm going to temper the eggs later on, and I'll show you what that is. And so now all I'm doing is waiting on the water to boil, which is really starting to percolate now. I'm going to add the elbow noodles, and then once the noodles are completely done, I'm going to drain them in a colander. While they're draining in a colander, I'm not going to rinse them or anything like that. I'll start making a bechamel sauce, and then more cheese sauce, and then we're all done. What I'm doing right now is I'm working on the bechamel sauce. I'm working on the cheese sauce, or whatever you want to call it. And I have in here some butter, real butter. Don't use margarine. Real butter, and then I have some flour in here. And then I already drained the pasta over there, but I reserved some of the starchy water, just in case I need it. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour in the heavy whipping cream in here, but I'm cooking out some of the flavor of the raw flour first. You want to cook out the raw flour taste. And then once you do that, and you don't want to brown this, so that's why you want to have it on medium heat. You don't want the stove too high. So on a numbered stove, I do like right dead center 5. And if you have medium, high, and all that stuff, you want to do medium. And if you look in there, did you see in there, in the pot? Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll see that it's still yellow, so you don't want it. You don't want it to be like brown. So that's that. And then I'm gonna pour in the heavy cream. And then here on the cutting board, I have cream cheese and Velveeta. I have over here mozzarella, and I have cheddar. You can get sharp cheddar, mild cheddar, doesn't really matter. You should really use a full fat milk, and I like heavy cream in mine. But you can use at least a vitamin D milk, a whole milk. You really don't want to use like, not for this kind anyway. If you're trying to do a little better, then maybe you want to use the 2%. So if you see here, when I put the liquid in, the purpose of the flour is to thicken up the sauce. So you see how as I stir in the milk, it keeps getting thick again. So that's what you want to do. But you want to just go ahead and get the milk poured in, and it's gonna be a really thick sauce. I reserved some of the liquid from the pasta, just in case I have to thin it out a little bit. I don't want to just use all straight water. The pasta water, the starchy water helps it stay thickened up.
Cutting in your cream cheese.
Mm-hmm. I already cut it up. You can just break it up. It just makes it melt in there better. I like cream cheese because it's macaroni and cheese, and I like creamy macaroni and cheese. So you see, I already cut it up in cubes. I like using this too because it has a lot of liquid in it. So I'm a very messy cook, but it has a lot of liquid in it, so it also helps with having a more soupy texture at first, because as you know, pasta soaks up all the liquid, so you don't want a dry macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to take a little bit of the sauce, and I'm going to put it in the eggs, and I'm going to stir it up. And this is called tempering the eggs, okay? So I'm going to take a little bit more of the sauce, and I'm going to put it in there. And the purpose of tempering is to get the eggs the same temperature as the sauce, so it doesn't cook, it doesn't turn into scrambled eggs or anything like that.
That makes good sense.
So that's why you temper it. And you want it to stay saucy. So you add little bits at a time. And you just temper, temper, temper. And then once you get to the point where you feel like, okay, this is now, the eggs are warm, they're soupy, it basically looks like the sauce, then you can go and pour the eggs over there. More like the sauce than eggs now. So now I can go ahead and pour that in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and whisk as I put that in there. The only other thing to do is to add the rest of the cheeses. So it just kind of goes by your own taste. I like a good melty cheese, so that's why I like the Velveeta. And then as that melts in there, I like to add them one at a time and let each one melt a little bit before I add the next one. So I'm just gonna let the Velveeta melt down a little bit. And then now on top of my casseroles, I prefer a cheddar cheese, because cheddar cheese, even though it melts really nicely, mozzarella, you notice how on pizzas it's stringy. I don't like the stringiness on top of my casseroles. I like it inside my casseroles, if that makes sense. So I'll put this in the sauce, but I won't put it on top. And I'll put this on the inside and on top. I don't know how much of the pasta we're going to use, but I'm just going to keep dumping in there and dumping in there, because I think we have way more than enough pasta. I put a lot of the mac and cheese in there. This is the mac and cheese, okay? If you see, it is very creamy, but you want it to be more than just creamy, because if you were going to eat it like this, like a boxed pasta or boxed mac and cheese, then this would be good. But you're not. It's not a stovetop. It's oven baked. So you want it soupier so it can soak into the pasta and even reheat well. So that's why I like mine a little bit soupier. And if you were to feel how hard it is to stir this, you would know that it's a little bit thicker than what I want. With that being said, I want to use my reserved pasta water, and I don't want to just pour. I want to pour a little bit and stir a little bit. And then when I feel like it's loose enough, that's when I'll know, okay, this is good, this is exactly how I want it. So I'll just stir a little bit, and that's still taking a little bit of muscle. So I'll just pour just a little bit in there, a little bit more in there, and stir it up and see how I feel about it. And see, you see how easily that falls off the spoon as opposed to when I first showed you? That is the consistency that I want.
Okay.
I'm going to pour this pasta in here, and then I'm going to put the cheddar cheese on top, and that's it. And then we're gonna bake it in the oven. Now I preheated my oven, like while the pasta was boiling, I preheated my oven to 375. I do 375 or 350 for 30 minutes to 45 minutes, just depends on what how the stove is. Every stove is calibrated differently, and then also how you want the cheese to look. If you don't want your cheese to be too brown, you want to use the aluminum foil, otherwise take it off. Okay?
Y'all, we record this entire recipe step by step only to get to the end, and I totally forgot to record the finished product. But the mac and cheese was amazing. Not a crumb left, as you'll see in this next clip.
Y'all, we done did this whole video, and I forgot to show the end product. But that's the end product right there. It's all gone.
For more amazing recipes and awesome articles on travel, visit Danico's blog at SoulEpicure.com. Thank you.